Surely there's nothing better than a diner-style breakfast, right? Today we're gonna prove that wrong. So we're back in Studio B, as you can see. That was a rhyme. Look, today we have a very important conversation. There's no jokes to be had here. Last time we talked about breakfast, it was American versus a full English, which are two very, very famous breakfasts. But I want to talk about a breakfast that isn't talked about enough, and that is the Filipino breakfast. I could go on and on about it, but I'd rather show you. So with all that being said, let's make this, shall we?
The tale of two breakfasts. One you might see at a diner where multiple fights may break out. Maybe someone throws a chair. We're talking about the American breakfast. You know, eggs, bacon, toast, hash browns, pancake. You know, triple carb scenario. Can it compete? Let's find out. First, let's talk about breakfast and sausage. Honestly, they're nearly impossible to mess up unless you don't watch the pan, you let it burn, and I already know there are people watching this like, oh my gosh, Josh, it's not that easy. I'm not trying to judge you, I'm just saying, you got this. Skillet, medium heat, add your bacon while the pan's still cold, keep flipping until crispy and done, and drain it on a paper towel, and that's it. And it's the same thing for sausage. If your sausages are raw, you can always sear them nicely on all sides, then pour in a splash of water to lightly boil them to get the internal of the sausage cooked. Once those two are done, just keep them warm. Oh, and please save your bacon fat. If you throw away your bacon fat, it's like throwing away money. Is that what you like to do? You just get $5 and you're like, oh, let me crumple that up and throw it in the trash can. And I'll show you why with our hash brown. If you want a single solid 10 to 12 inch hash brown, then all you need is 2 medium-sized russet potatoes. Peel them, grate them on the coarse side of a box grater, place it on a clean kitchen towel. None of that kitchen towel that's crusty and stiff and no one knows why. Season your potatoes generously with salt to taste, toss together, bundle up in your towel, hold over a bowl or the sink, and squeeze that into a big old ball to get as much juice out as possible. You know, there's nothing better than squeezing the juice out of your ball. Pop that into a bowl, add in a generous pinch of onion powder, and toss until evenly distributed. Now, heat a 10 to 12 inch cast iron skillet. This is actually enameled cast iron. Listen, a 12 inch is gonna get you a wider, more flat hash brown, whereas a 10 will get you a thick boy. Add 2 tablespoons or 23 grams of bacon fat from earlier. Follow that with 1.5 tablespoons or 21 grams of butter. Heat over medium until hot, then add in your drained potatoes, press it down to fill out the whole pan in one evenly thick layer. Cook undisturbed for about 5 to 7 minutes, scrape underneath, flip, and he sticks the landing. Wow, some say potato, others say potato. I say riscotto. Sorry about that. Anyway, cook for 46 minutes or until the other side is crisp and your potato is cooked through. That's enough hash brown for 2 to 4 people. For the pancake, simply combine in a medium-sized bowl 2 cups or 300 grams of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon or 17 grams of baking powder, 2 tablespoons or 24 grams of sugar, half a teaspoon or 4 grams of fine sea salt, whisk together till combined, then add 1 3/4 cup or 355 grams of buttermilk, that's buttermilk, and 2 whole eggs. Whisk together until combined, also 2 tablespoons, yeah Josh, 2 tablespoons of stainless steel. Nice. 2 tablespoons or 24 grams of vegetable oil, not stainless steel. Medium-sized nonstick skillet. Over medium heat, grease it up. You know, you can use pan spray or just a light coating of oil. Once it's hot, add a small ladleful of your batter in the pan, spread it out a little, cook for a couple minutes until halfway set, flip and repeat on the other side, about 2 to 3 minutes per side. Add that to a plate and repeat with all of your batter. Look, frying eggs seems to scare people. Listen, Papa's got you. Papa's Heat 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil or olive oil in a nonstick pan. Heat over medium until very hot. Crack in no more than about 3 eggs at a time. Season a taste with salt, and once the white begins to set, baste the hot oil on the uncooked white. Once puffed and the white is fully cooked and the yolk is still runny, it's done. I'd say 1 to 2 eggs per plate, and then just do the math on how many plates you're making, because frankly, I don't like math, and I'm delegating that task to you. Very sorry, love you very much. Serving this is simple. Load up your plate like you're looking at a Denny's ad, then step aside because a new challenger has appeared. The Filipino breakfast. First, we begin with tocino, which is kind of like bacon if it was born in the Philippines and low-key better. You'll need 2.5 pounds or 1.1 kilos of pork Boston butt. Do not trim it, okay? You want the fat. Slice it thinly, then in a bowl, you're gonna combine half a cup or 80 grams of light brown sugar, 4.5 tablespoons or 65 grams of pineapple juice, 1 tablespoon or 11 grams of kosher salt, 2 tablespoons or 32 grams of rice vinegar, 2 tablespoons or 32 grams of soy sauce, 3 cloves of garlic grated, season lightly to taste with salt, mix it together, and optionally, but many do this, add 2 drops of red food coloring to get that extra red look. You know, it's supposed to basically simulate a cured look. Add your pork and toss to coat. Then just let that marinate in the fridge for 3 days before cooking. You can do 24 hours, but it's specifically noted that 3 days is the tradition. Now you're gonna cook it exactly like you do with bacon. Granted, it's gonna look a little different, but medium heat, add it to a cold pan, and constantly flip until you get some nice dark colors and it's cooked through. Although this is mostly fresh meat, you can and should get a little char on it. You won't regret it. Think of this more like a bacon steak. Also, a lot of the crew kept calling this Totinos, and now I understand why you all judge my pronunciation so often, so thank you for that. Moving on to what looks like may just be breakfast sausage, but no, this is the sausage. period. Sure, they may not always be long, but they taste great. Keep your mind out of the gutter. So you'll need about 2 3/4 pounds or 1.2 kilos of ground pork. You want the fattiest stuff you can find. Mine here we ground fresh and it's 60% lean, so it's real fatty, brother. To your ground pork, add 5 teaspoons or 11 grams of kosher salt, 2 teaspoons or 5 grams of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon or 3 grams of freshly ground black pepper, 3 tablespoons or 48 grams of soy sauce. Listen, if you're making this recipe, Silver Swan, gonna be what you want to use. 2 tablespoons or 28 grams of white distilled vinegar, mixed together thoroughly, plus 1 tablespoon or 94 grams of dark brown sugar and 12 cloves of garlic grated. Please don't try to be a silly little goose and put anything less than 12 cloves of garlic, okay? It's either 12 cloves or more. Mix that bad boy together, and well, sure, you can add this to some sausage casings, but I know that not everyone has a sausage stuffer, so here's a secret method for links. Simply add enough ground meat to a sheet of parchment, so when it's rolled up into a sausage, it's about a ½ inch thick. Get it into a sausage shape as best you can, reaching almost the width of your parchment, then tightly roll up the parchment to hold its shape, roll it all the way up, and boom, evenly sized cylinder. Repeat with all of your meat in individual sheets and place in the freezer as you work. You're just gonna want to chill this for about 15 to 20 minutes before using. Cut it into 3 evenly sized pieces. These are actually not that even. That could have been much better. Don't do that. Unroll it, and you can cook these the exact same way that you did the breakfast sausage from the American version. Do be aware that these char pretty quickly, so fluctuate the temperature as needed. Anyway, once you've cooked that on a medium to medium low pan, flipping constantly, you're met with a perfectly cooked longanisa. Repeat with all of your sausage. Now we saved the best for last. To me, this fried rice is worth its weight in gold. And it's not only the easiest fried rice that there is, but it's the backbone of what makes this breakfast special. So no pressure. First, you need to peel and mince 15 cloves of garlic. You already know the Filipino version knows what the is up, considering the sheer amount of garlic. You're also going to need 4 cups or 560 grams of cooked rice, which has been chilled overnight in the fridge. I've said it before, you use fresh cooked hot rice in fried rice, then you're going to make me sob uncontrollably for hours, so just please don't do that. Heat 4.5 tablespoons or 54 grams of vegetable oil in a large wok over medium-low heat, and before it starts to get hot, immediately add 3/4 of your minced garlic. Let that come up to heat, it'll begin gently cooking, and then a light fry, and you're just going to constantly stir that for 2 to 4 minutes or until the garlic is toasted to a light golden brown. Strain your garlic out and drain on a paper towel and set aside about 1/4 of that crispy garlic to use as garnish later. Add the garlic oil back to your wok so you can go to Poland. Let me provide a little context. That is a Lil Yachty reference, okay? I did that joke recently and it went over a lot of people's heads. Heat that bad boy over high heat, add in your rice, season generously with salt to taste. I guess you could add a little if you want. Toss and stir fry constantly until your rice is heated through and you got a few crispy boys in there. Now add your fried garlic back, not including the reserved amount you set to the side. Again, taste for salt levels, adjust as needed. Toss to fully incorporate everything. Cut off the heat, add your remaining raw garlic. Toss until evenly distributed, and now you have a double-purpose garlic fried rice, both raw and fried, combining their powers to create something truly special. Now pop that bad boy onto a plate, add on all your elements. Tocino, longanisa, fried eggs. Garnish that rice with some thinly sliced green onion if you're feeling a little naughty. And well, that's actually it. And for those wondering, this rice is called. We have 2 gorgeous breakfasts and only 1 winner. Enough talk, let's taste.
So we have 2 beautiful breakfasts, the American and our beloved Filipino. First, the American, we get a little hash brown, maybe a little bit of bacon. Look, if you've ever been to Denny's, it's like that, but on crack. It's great. The pancake, I mean, it's everything you want. I want to introduce you to something special. Garlic fried rice should be a part of every healthy start to the day. I'm in another plane of existence. This has depth. It's garlicky, it's savory, but it's also simple. I can eat this whole thing of rice and I'm gonna probably feel good. Now moving on, longanisa. Made from scratch. I'm not gonna lie, it's very garlicky. It's sweet, it's salty, it's got that umami. Hey. Tocino, unless you got a really good bacon, this is a step above. This, to me, is more exciting. I'm gonna dream about this. It's time for a change. But it's also time for Christian to come and taste test. Oh, this is Christian. Hi, everybody. This man is responsible for many, many good things on the Burger Show. And if you ever saw our cookbook delivery service, he was our maitre d'.
Oui, baguette. I don't need this fork. So here we go. This looks like Filipino breakfast. Is that what you brought me here for? I drove all the way from Cyprus for this? Hell yes. So we got longanisa. Oh, is that scratch made tocino?
Yes.
Oh, you have to have that garlic fried rice. Check out this technique. Make a little mount, scoop, and shovel. So I get a little bit of this protein ready. Go rice, grab that protein. You see sauce on here? Because I do. Egg yolk. Oh man. 10 out of 10 recommend.
Good Lord, high praise. He was supposed to try this, but that's okay. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, everybody. If you're looking for a new experience in the breakfast world, Filipino breakfast is where you should be, and I think it's where you should have always been. But you wanna know where you also should have been? B-roll.